All right, today we're talking about a name that's just synonymous with boxing greatness. A man who didn't just win fights, he completely changed what it meant to be a fighter. We're diving into the story of the one, the only, Sugar Ray Leonard. A legend of speed, style, and just pure brilliance.
And yeah, that quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? That's really the heart of the whole story. You know, lots of boxers are famous for their power, for being these incredible forces of nature. But Sugar Ray Leonard, his legacy is all about artistry, about strategy, and this kind of magic he had in the ring that just mesmerized the entire world.
So where does a journey like that even begin? Well, our story kicks off on the biggest stage you can imagine, the 1976 Olympics in Montreal. This is where a star wasn't just born, he absolutely exploded into everyone's consciousness.
And here's this little detail that I just love, something that tells you so much about the man inside the gloves. While he was in there dancing his way to a gold medal, he actually had pictures of his little boy tucked right into his socks. It just shows you, for him, it was always about something more than just boxing.
But you know how life is. It almost never goes according to plan. Leonard's dream was to win gold, hang up the gloves, and go to college, get an education. But reality hit hard. His family was struggling financially and they needed him. So the plan had to change. The amateur star had to become a professional prizefighter, literally carrying the hopes of his family on his shoulders.
So he steps into the professional ranks. And he doesn't just bring his incredible talent, he builds an entire persona. This is the moment Ray Leonard becomes Sugar Ray Leonard.
Man, that quote just paints such a perfect picture of his style. He took on the name Sugar as a tribute to the all-time great Sugar Ray Robinson. And believe me, he lived up to it. Watching Leonard fight, it wasn't like watching a brawl. It was like watching a master artist at work. So graceful, so fluid, and he always seemed to be 3 steps ahead of his opponent.
And this is what's so fascinating about him, right? You had these two sides. On the surface, you got the Flash, all glamour, incredible charisma, and that million-dollar smile made for TV. But simmering just underneath all that was the fire, a deadly serious, calculating competitor who was absolutely relentless.
And that fire, it was about to be tested in a huge way against some of the greatest fighters to ever live, starting with his iconic rivalry against the terrifying Duran.
But here's the thing. Leonard wasn't invincible. The brawler they called Hands of Stone, Duran, gave him his first professional loss in a brutal, punishing fight. But for Leonard, a loss wasn't a failure. It was homework. For the rematch, he didn't just tweak his approach. He threw out the entire game plan and cooked up a tactical masterpiece.
His strategy was pure genius. He knew he couldn't out-brawl a brawler, so instead he used non-stop movement to frustrate Duran. He started taunting him, getting inside his head, messing with his pride. The goal wasn't just to win the fight, it was to completely break his opponent, body and mind.
And it worked better than anyone could have possibly predicted. In the 8th round, a totally confused and demoralized Duran just turned his back, walked away, and said those 2 infamous words to the ref: "No mas." No more. Sugar Ray Leonard had made one of the toughest men in boxing history quit. Okay, so beating Duran like that was a tactical masterpiece. But what he did next, honestly, it defies belief. This was his most impossible and maybe his greatest fight ever. You have to understand the context here, because it's just wild. He'd been retired for 3 years, he had surgery for a detached retina. That's an injury that ends careers, period. And after all that, he decides, you know what, for my comeback, I think I'll fight marvelous Marvin Hagler, the most feared middleweight champion on the planet. Just wow. I mean, look at this matchup. It was the perfect story. A total clash of styles. You had Leonard, the artist, the tactician, coming back from a long, career-threatening injury. And then you had Hagler, the undisputed king, this terrifying force of nature who had just destroyed everyone they put in front of him. So, this was the million-dollar question. Could he really pull this off? Was it even possible for a fighter who relied on precision, timing, and reflexes to come back after so long and beat a monster like Hagler? I mean, nobody gave him a chance. The odds were stacked a mile high against him.
But see, Sugar Ray always had a plan. He knew he couldn't go toe-to-toe with Hagler, so he used that genius-level ring IQ. He'd dart in, throw a flashy, lightning-fast combo to get the judge's attention, and then dance out of the way before Hagler could even react. He was stealing rounds, one flurry at a time, and it led to one of the biggest upsets in boxing history, a split decision win for Sugar Ray.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, what is his legacy? It's so much bigger than just the wins and losses. He really was an athlete who transcended his sport.
Let's talk money for a second, because this is huge. He was a pioneer. He was the very first boxer to earn over $100 million in prize money. He showed everyone that an athlete could be a brilliant businessman and a global brand.
And then there's the pure athletic side of it. 5. He won world titles in 5 different weight classes. Think about that for a second. The skill, the versatility, the guts to constantly move up and challenge the very best, it's just incredible.
And that really brings it all full circle, doesn't it? If you ever need to explain what the sweet science of boxing actually means, you just point to Sugar Ray Leonard. He was the living, breathing definition of that idea, that boxing could be about brains and elegance, not just brute force.
So I'll leave you with this to chew on. When you look back at his amazing career, what's the one thing that really defines him? Was it the Olympic gold and all the championship belts? The record-breaking money he earned? Or was it the fact that he completely changed the game, proving that a fighter could be a superstar, a businessman, and a true artist all at the same time?